Hey folks, this is my contest entry for Andy's Vinyl Den 7 Deadly Sins contest. Of course, those 7 deadly sins being pride, greed, lust, envy, gluttony, wrath, and sloth. I believe I have what I need lined up, so let's go ahead and get into it. So, the first one is pride. A record you own that you're proud of. So that album gets a little backstory. This will probably be the longest of the 7 parts. So, as a lot of folks know, my mother, Carol Hartman, she passed away February 24th of this year, and yeah, and it's been kind of rough. So after she passed away, I went up to where she works, Rite Aid, and they gave me this poster in memoriam. We will miss you, or you will be missed. That is my mother. She might not look too happy there. She didn't really like having her picture taken. But my mom was 76, and she worked full-time at Rite Aid as a cashier. And she waited on, I guess she worked at that Rite Aid for, I don't know, 12, 13 years. And, you know, working 5 nights a week, you know, second shift. There were a lot of customers that knew her, and I guess she touched a lot of lives. I know that inside this are a lot of messages. Well, I probably can't see those, but there are messages where people sign this, talking about, you know, just well wishes. But my mom worked hard. She was a kind, friendly person that you know, she just cared about people, and I think in turn they cared about her. What's that got to do with records? Well, she met a lot of people being a cashier. So one of those people was a musician, and so we were driving in the car one day, and she says to me, Dale, there's this guy that comes into Rite Aid, and he plays country music. He plays some over at Buckhead's, which is a restaurant that's just, it's in the same shopping center, and so she said, can you look up this name, Mickey Clark? And so I, you know, not having high expectations, I just thought, you know, he's a local musician, and that's great. But I didn't think too much about it. But I did pull out my phone, and I looked his name up on YouTube. And so when I pulled it up, the list of videos, one caught my eye. It says Mickey Clark and John Prine. What? I'm like, Mom, this guy's a serious musician. Yeah, not everybody gets to play with John Prine. And sure enough, I looked, and he's he's had a number of recordings, but he's a good songwriter, a good country artist. He even had one song that I believe is on this album. Let's see if I can spot it real quick. Let's see, She's Gone to LA Again. And that song was recorded by the Oak Ridge Boys. I believe it was on the same album as Elvira. The guys are good. So this would be the album that I'm proud to own. I'm proud to own it for a number of reasons. One was because of my mom, and she became acquaintances with this guy, and she didn't just wait on him and give him his change back and all that good stuff. They talked and asked about how each other was doing, and so I guess he would see her whenever and stop and chat whenever he come through Rite Aid. And I'm also proud of this album because another reason I'm proud of this album is because I actually found it doing what I do, crate digging at Electric Ladyland, which is a shop here in town. And then I'm also proud of it because of Mickey. Mickey Clark is an excellent musician. Hasn't quite maybe hit it as big as a lot of folks, but he makes a living at what he does, and he's good at it, and he's a good dude. He sent me on Facebook, he sent me some messages as I was posting about Mom, and I know he was upset to hear about what happened to her, and I'm proud of him because he's been fighting cancer, and I just saw where he recently posted on his page to the public that he's in better health now than he was when he was first diagnosed, and he's fighting it valiantly. I'm proud of him for that and for doing what he does. And I hope that one day soon I'll get to go out and see him live at one of the venues he plays at, and I'll get him. I may take this album and get him to sign it for me. Yeah, I guess the biggest reason why I'm proud of this is because I can't think of Mickey and not think of my mom and the fact that they became friends, because she was such a sweet lady. Very proud of that album, and like I said, I hope to get that signed one day and to meet Mickey and shake his hand, because I've actually not met him in person yet. So that will be a very cool moment. I think so. So, moving on. Greed, the album you wouldn't part with. Well, I know you're probably all going to get tired of me showing this album because it's making a lot of appearances in my videos right now. But that would be Russ Taff, Under Their Influence. This, of course, Russ Taff being my favorite musician of all time, and this being my favorite album of all time. When I won Andy's last contest, I got, please, hang on a minute, Jake, don't stand on that, it's okay. Alright, so, when I won Andy's last contest, and started shopping for, I thought, well, of course, the proper thing to do when you win a contest is to take that prize money and do what we love to do, and that's pick up music. And so I started shopping, and up until that point, I thought this album only existed on CD. And I saw it. It was a little pricey, but once I thought, well, put a few of my bucks, put Andy's money with my money, and not quite so pricey, and I'll go ahead and take a shot at it. And I got it, and love having it on vinyl. And this, as far as I know, this copy is, well, it was pressed in the UK, so I don't know how many are floating around there. At this point, this is the only copy I've ever seen, and I've got it. So I'm pretty happy with that. So that would be the album for Greed. Yeah, that one just is not going to leave my possession probably until I leave this world. Lust. So I've got two grails that are on my mind. One is the 77's Holy Ghost Building. Now, I have a download of that album, but that album has gone out of print, and I can't even find it's not that it's outrageously priced on, when people are trying to sell it. I don't even see anyone trying to sell it. I've not seen. I keep my eyes out on Discogs and eBay. I'm not seeing any copies of it coming up for sale. So, yeah, that one's going to be a hard one, unless I get lucky. I know the 77s right now are kind of going through their back catalog and issuing a lot of that stuff on limited run vinyl pressings, and I've picked up 3 of them, but Holy Ghost Building was toward the back half of their catalog, so I don't know. Will I get a copy before I'm 60? It's hard to say. Yeah, it's hard to say. The other album that I really want is Sean Michelle. I Know I've Been Converted. I've got a download of that album as well. The problem is that I know it exists. I can't find any copies for sale anywhere again. And it's not, I don't know, he did a limited pressing. In fact, it wasn't even in a jewel case. It was one of those cardboard sleeves. Sean Michelle is a blues artist. So both of these are blues rock albums. 77s are blues rock as well. But Sean Michelle, man, that cat can play. I have gotten in on the Kickstarter for his upcoming album, so I have that. And right before I started filming this video, my buddy Dave showed me a picture. He has picked up 2 pieces of vinyl for me. Sean Michelle also has an album called Electric, I believe it's called Electric Blues. I'm looking at Jake like he's going to answer me. Anyway, it's called Electric Blues, and he's got a copy of that, and there's another limited pressing, 300 copies. I don't know what this album is, but he's got these 2 copies, these 2 vinyl records for me. I kind of felt like Andy did the other day when he got that album from Billy Hurst. I was just, my jaw dropped when I saw the picture. And when I go to upload this video, I'll see what I can do about trying to insert a picture of the albums that Dave has picked up for me. But man, so I'm really excited. I did notice that the limited pressing, it almost looks like a test pressing, but I know it's not. It's just a limited 300 pressing, but it comes in a white sleeve, and he saw Sean Michelle at Audio Feed this weekend and got it signed for me. So that's going to be it's going to be really cool. I can't wait to get my hands on these albums. All right, so that's Envy. So next is Gluttony, the band you just can't get enough of these days. Well, Gluttony, geez. Well, why don't we just target my whole collection? I mean, I think we all can probably relate to that. But Gluttony. So the band that I'm probably feverishly working to get all the stuff that there was a couple years where, like in 2011, I lost my job, and it has taken me a while I had to get it once I got the job I'm at currently, and then had to work my way up to a new position where I'm getting paid more. So there are some albums in those years that I'm kind of missing. So that meant that I was missing albums from this band's catalog, and that's Stryper. No, they may not be the most popular band in the VC, but I'm loving this band even more now than I did back in the day. Saw them early last November here in Louisville. They rocked the joint. Mercury Ballroom was where they played. They rocked the joint, and so I've been completing the CD portion of the catalog, and I'm working on. I'm sorry about these notifications. I gotta figure another system for doing my videos. That's the buzzing that you keep hearing. All right, so there's a label on that. So as far as Stryper's concerned, I'm just so excited about that band. They're playing better than they ever have. They're rocking out harder than they ever have. I can't say enough positive things about them. This video is starting to get kind of long. Let me keep clipping along here. I will say this: I have the Sweet and Lunch album on order. It's coming in. It's coming in right now, so I'm still getting stuff. I need to work on the vinyl side of my Stryper collection now. So, Jake, you keep rubbing your head on my list, buddy. I gotta have this. I gotta have my notes. Okay, so now we've gotten past Gluttony, and we're going to go to Wrath. Won't spend long on this, but I cannot. There's a lot of musicians I don't care for their music, but as far as just hate them, and even in the most hyperbolic meaning of the word, I don't know. But Kanye West, I can't stand the guy. For one thing, I keep having people tell me he's a good artist. No. I've tried to listen to him on YouTube. Tried to watch some of his videos to see if there was any artistic merit to what he does. If there's any artistic merit to Kanye West, I can't see it for the life of me. It's crap. Matter of fact, calling it crap may not be fair to crap. But then when you add on his behavior, in the public, there's just no call for being that kind of a jerk, So, yeah, I don't. Nothing to do with Kanye West. Sloth, final one. No, I skipped over something. I skipped over Envy, and then Sloth. So these are the last two. So Envy, I don't play any instruments I used to sing, and when I was younger, sang a lot with instrumental tracks before karaoke came along and made that uncool. Sang some with piano accompaniment as well. As far as touring bands, I don't know. If the Ragamuffin Band ever got together and decided they needed a lead singer, I'd love to sing for them, because ever since Rich Mullins has passed, it kind of bothers me that his music is not being performed live in a lot. It's not being performed live in concerts anymore. We have the recordings, but these are tremendous songs, and I think Rich Mullins would honestly, look, the man's not even got his head in the cover. The other album right before he died was called The Jesus Record, and I just really feel like Rich Mullins believed that his music was more important than him, that the songs that he was doing, that the art he was creating was more important than him. And I would love to see this stuff being performed live in concert, and his range was not such that I couldn't do it. And who knows, maybe I will one day, just at least locally. I have sang a few of the songs from this album back in the day. Hold Me Jesus and Peace, Communion Blessing from St. Joseph Square. I've done both of those. Love doing them. Maybe I'll get together with some musicians. Maybe even if it's just a pianist, and maybe do an open mic or something somewhere and do some of these songs, because they should be heard. I hate the thought of these songs not being played regularly. Finally, Sloth. I won't harp on this because this video is getting really long, but Bon Jovi. I will, guilty pleasure, I don't know. This band's probably not very popular, and they kind of have themselves to blame for that. They've made some good albums, but these days, I tried listening to a few of Bon Jovi's last couple albums, went and looked at some videos, and they have a sound, but it doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't grab me. Maybe I need to listen to it some more. Maybe there's something there that's just not grabbing me, because there have been other artists who I've had to listen to repeatedly to get, but usually not bands that I already like. It's usually not a case of, oh, now they're doing this new thing and I need to, that usually is not my experience. I don't know what the deal is, but yeah, I just can't. I'm not that excited about trying to pick up their last 2 or 3 albums. So that's my list of for 7 Deadly Sins. I appreciate you hanging in with me this long, and have a good night.